Hello and welcome to another view from the cab. And today, on this rather beautiful day, I'm going to be talking about the coronavirus. And I know you're probably thinking, oh good lord, not more coronavirus stuff. But my view is generally very different from everyone else's, in as much that I don't really care about the coronavirus. You know, all I've seen on Twitter recently and all over the news and everything else is coronavirus, COVID-19, you're all gonna die, it's the last days of the apocalypse and blah blah blah. And you know, I'm genuinely sick of hearing it. I just can't put into words how tedious it's all become. These things pop up every year. Do you remember the bird flu? The bird flu's gonna come and get you, and we're all gonna die, and it's the last days of the apocalypse, and blah blah blah. Then it was swine flu, and it's the last days of the apocalypse, and blah blah blah. And you just get sick of hearing it. They blow these things up out of all proportion, and by they, I mean the media, the newspapers, because that's what sells. Because you got, I mean, there's even people out there now buying up all of the antibacterial hand gel because they think that buying vast quantities of something is going to somehow protect them. Maybe they're drinking it or bathing in it. I don't really know, to be honest. But it's bacterial, not viral. It's COVID-19 is a virus. There's a link there somewhere. I'm sure it's in the wording and the title. I don't know. You know, I mean, people have been going out and panic buying toilet rolls. I kid you not. I've had loads of people telling me they've been to the shops recently, large supermarket chains, and they couldn't buy, you know, their favourite toilet roll brand because people have gone out and bought, you know, 200 rolls of Andrex or something ridiculous. I don't know why anybody would want to buy. I mean, maybe I was saying this morning to somebody, maybe people think that the toilet roll maker people are more susceptible to this coronavirus, and maybe, you know, we could end up with no toilet rolls being produced at all in the UK because unfortunately all the toilet roll maker people are laid up in bed. They've self-isolated. Who knows? It's just utterly bizarre the way people respond when something like this comes up. You know, it blows the mind, because all you need to do, I mean, these are the do's and don'ts, right? Really, you should wash your hands when you've been to the toilet. You should do that anyway. That's one of them things you should just do because you've been to the toilet and you've had old Yakori for, you know what I mean? You should be washing your hands anyway. You know, you should wipe things down, keep your house clean, you know, and just don't let people sneeze in your face. And these are the basics. If I'm of the opinion, excuse me, that if it's going to happen, it'll happen. If I'm going to catch this coronavirus, this COVID-19, then I'm going to catch it, and there's nothing I can do. I mean, I could go out and I could buy a truckload of toilet rolls, and I could, you know, have them all in my house, fill up every room with toilet rolls. It's not going to stop me getting it, is it? You know, it's just, I don't know, people are just absolutely mad. They just need to realise if it's going to happen, it'll happen. You've got no control over it. You know, if it's going to happen to you, bad luck. And then you'll just, you know, chances are, unless you've already in serious ill health anyway, chances are you'll just get over it, because that's what happens. You know, you'll just take a couple of real deep breaths and get over it. And it may sound like I'm being flippant, and it may sound like I'm trivialising it, but I probably am. because these things always come up, and it's going to be a pandemic and everybody's going to die, and vast swaths of Europe are going to be, you know, ghost towns because everybody will have carked it. And then nothing happens. The media never mentions that. The newspapers never say, oh, look at that, we blew that up out of all proportion, didn't we? Nobody, a few people have died. On a global scale, it's nothing. It's probably the same amount of people that would have died because of the annual flu doing the rounds, you know. And, you know, they never go, oh, look at that, we totally over-egged that pudding, didn't we? Because that won't sell them newspapers, will it? You know, and it's I don't know, the coronavirus, if it's going to happen, it'll happen. It's the same as anything. You remember the Lockerbie air disaster plane bombing thing? You know, and people went to bed that night, and then they had there was an aeroplane exploded above the houses, and they was all killed and they all died. They wasn't expecting that, was they? Nothing could have, you know, prepared them for that. But it happened. It was a thing that happened. So if it's going to happen, it'll happen, regardless of, obviously, I mean, if you're going to go to the area where this all started, I mean, we know that China was where it started. We know there's been a few cases in South Korea. If you're going to fly to those places and let people sneeze in your face, chances are you're going to get it. But unless you do those things, I'd say just relax, really. Buying up truckloads of hand sanitizer isn't gonna prevent anything, and doesn't really seem like I don't know. It's good for the toilet roll people, I suppose, but and the hand sanitizer people. But that's about it. So that's my views on the coronavirus anyway. Have a Coke and a smile, and it'll all work itself out eventually. That is my view from the cab for today. I'm going to carry on drinking my absolutely revolting coffee, finish this taco break, and then I'll probably have to think about doing some work. So on that note, what will be will be. I'll catch you on the next one.